Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nishti. Srimad Bhagavatam 7th Canto, Chapter 2, Hiranyakashipu, King of Demons, text 36. Oh, I see. 37. Śrī Yamarāja Aho amīṣāṁ vayasādhikānāṁ vipaśyatāṁ loka-vidhiṁ vimohaḥ yatrāgatas tatra gataṁ manuṣyaṁ svayaṁ sadharmā śocanty apārtham. Śrī Yamarāja Aho amīṣāṁ vayasādhikānāṁ vipaśyatāṁ loka-vidhiṁ vimohaḥ yatrāgatas tatra gataṁ manuṣyaṁ svayaṁ sadharmā śocanty aho amīṣāṁ vayasādhikānāṁ vipaśyatāṁ loka-vidhiṁ yatrāgatas tatra gataṁ manuṣyaṁ svayaṁ sadharmā śocanty aho amīṣāṁ vayasādhikānāṁ vipaśyatāṁ loka-vidhiṁ vimohaḥ yatrāgatas tatra gataṁ manuṣyaṁ svayaṁ sadharmā śocanty apārtham. Śrī Yamarāja Śrī Yamarāja said, Aho, alas, amīṣāṁ of these, vayasā, by age, adhikānām, of those advanced, vipaśyatāṁ, seeing every day, loka-vidhiṁ, the law of nature, that everyone dies, vimohaḥ, the bewilderment, yatra, from where, agatāh, came, tatra, there, gataṁ, return, manuṣyaṁ, the man, svayaṁ, themselves, sa-dharmāḥ, similar in nature, prone to die, apī, although, śocanty, they lament, apārtham, uselessly. Translation by the Divine Grace, Śrīla Prabhupada. Śrī Yamarāja said, "Alas, how amazing it is! These persons who are older than me have full experience that hundreds and thousands of living entities have taken birth and died. Thus, they should understand that they also are apt to die. Yet, still they are bewildered. The conditioned soul comes from an unknown place and returns after death to that same unknown place. There is no exception to this rule, which is conducted by material nature. Knowing this, why do they uselessly lament?" Please repeat after me. Śrī Yamarāja said, "Alas, how amazing it is! These persons who are older than me have full experience that hundreds and thousands of living entities have taken birth and died. Thus they should understand that they also are apt to die. Yet still they are bewildered. The conditioned soul comes from an unknown place and returns after death to that same unknown place. There is no exception to this rule, which is conducted by material nature. Knowing this, why do they uselessly lament? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 2.28, "Abbhaktadini bhutani bhaktamadhani bharata abbhakta nidhanam neva tatra ka paridevana." All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when they are annihilated. So, what need is there for lamentation? Accepting that there are two classes of philosophers, one believing in the existence of the soul and the others not believing in its existence. There is no cause for lamentation in either case. Non-believers in the existence of the soul are called atheists by the followers of the Vedic wisdom. Yet even if for argument's sake we accept the atheistic theory, there is still no cause for lamentation. Apart from the separate existence of the soul, the material elements remain unmanifested before the creation. From this subtle state of an unmanifestation comes manifestation, such as from the ether, air is generated, from air, fire is generated, from fire, water is generated, and from water, earth becomes manifest. From the earth, many varieties of manifestations take place. For example, a big skyscraper is manifested from the earth. When it is dismantled, the manifestation becomes again unmanifested and remains as atoms in the ultimate stage. The law of conservation of energy remains, but in course of time things are manifested and unmanifested. That is the difference. Then what cause is there for lamentation? In either manifestation or unmanifestation. Some or other, even in the unmanifested stage, things are not lost. Both at the beginning and at the end, all elements remain. Remember always that the body is like a dress. Therefore, why lament the changing of a dress? The material body has no factual existence. in relation to the eternal soul. It is something like a dream. In a dream, we may think of flying in the sky or sitting on a chariot as a king. But when you wake up, we can see that we are neither in the sky nor sitting on a chariot. The Vedic wisdom encourages self-realization on the basis of non-existence of material body. Therefore, in either case, whether one believes in the existence of the soul or one does not believe in the existence of the soul, there is no cause for lamentation for loss of the body. In the Mahabharata it is said, Adarshanaad ihayataha punas chadarshanam gataha. This statement could support the theory of the atheistic scientist that the child in the womb of the mother has no life but is simply a lump of matter. To follow this theory, if the lump of matter is aborted by a surgical operation, no life is killed. The body of a child is like a tumor, and if a tumor is operated upon and thrown away, no sin is involved. The same argument could be put forward in regard to the king and his queens. The body of the king was manifested from an unmanifested source, and again it became unmanifested from manifestation. Since the manifestation exists only in the middle, between the 2 points of unmanifestation, why should one cry for the body manifested in the interim? So, Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chukshurmilitam Tasmai Shri Chaitanya Mano-Vishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gataṁ Dadati Swahanti Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shivashanti Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Śrī Yamarāja uvāca, Aho amīṣāṁ vayasādhikānāṁ, vipaśyatāṁ loka-vidhiṁ vimohaḥ, yatrāgatas tatra gataṁ manuṣyaṁ, svayaṁ sadharmā apārtham. Śrī Yamarāja said, alas, how amazing it is. These persons who are older than me have full experience that hundreds and thousands of living entities have taken birth and died. Thus, they should understand that they also are apt to die. Yet still they are bewildered. The conditioned soul comes from an unknown place and returns after death to that same unknown place. There is no exception to this rule, which is conducted by material nature. Knowing this, why they do uselessly lament. So, Yamarāja, as a little boy, came and enlightening the queens of the dead king, who were lamenting over the death of the king. What was the name of the king? Very good. And he was the king of which place? Kushi. He died in a battle. So his dead body was brought to the palace, and the queens are lamenting over his death. And there was so much holding him, so to say, that eventually Yamarāja had to come. Jamadutas couldn't take him because they were not letting the body to be taken away, to be cremated. And so Yamarāja came as a little child and little boy, and he is addressing Jama uvāca, Jamraj is telling. Look at this people. They've seen so many people have died, and they are also going to die. Everyone is going to die. They are lamenting and they are bewildered. And they are lamenting. And they don't know that the living entities come from an unknown place. Then they remain in this material nature for some time, in a specific body, and then they go back to the unknown place again. And Prabhupada in the purport, he quoted this verse from Bhagavad Gita, Avvakta dini bhutani bhaktamadhani bhakti. Things were unmanifest, then madhani in the middle, it became manifest, and then it will become unmanifest again. So tatra ka parideva, why not? So that knowledge is very important. Then Prabhupada quotes another verse from Bhagavad Gita, that is, the body is perishable, but the soul is eternal. The body is antavanta imedeha. Antavat is perishable. These material bodies are perishable. But nitya shukta sharirina, the owner of the body, is eternal. So that is the knowledge. There's a very basic knowledge that one has to understand. This body is going to die. The body is dying every moment. Actually, every moment the body is dying, meaning the material with the body is made of, some part is being destroyed. The body is made of body cells. And the body cells are new cells, the old cells are dying, new cells are being generated. So the body is constantly changing, the body is constantly dying. There are some people in outside. How many of you are the outside? Come in. Let them come in. Is that all? You are the last one? Okay. So Prabhupada is actually making a point in the purport. There are two types of believers. One believe that the soul doesn't exist, and the other believe that the soul does exist. Those who don't believe in the existence of the soul, they cannot possibly believe in the existence of God. Therefore, they are atheists, non-believers. If we don't believe in the existence of soul, that means we believe that everything is matter. And if everything is matter, then there is no room for accepting God. So that understanding is prevailing in today's world. The so-called scientists are trying to establish that there is no soul, there is no God. There is no creator, there is no maintainer. Everything is happening automatically, by chance. Their idea is this concept developed with a very wonderful person. His name is Mr. Darwin. So Mr. Darwin said that somehow some matter, some chemical, some matter, they just combined in life. Okay. They became living entities. So matter became alive. So at the beginning, they were matter, then they became life. What kind of life? Unicellular life. Just so somehow they're living, and then they evolved gradually. So from unicellular, it became multicellular. From one cell, living entity like amoeba, like they became multicellular. Then some went to the water, some came to the land. Some remained on the land. So those who went to water, they became aquatics, and those who remained on the land, they became land dwellers. And then they developed. First, microbes, from microbe, insects, worms. Then gradually from insects and worms, they developed into reptiles, birds, animals. And then the animals gradually developed into monkeys. And from monkey, they became man. Now how monkey became man, they can't really figure it out. Therefore they call it a missing link. The missing link. So we can see that how can we decide things like that through imagination? Was Mr. Darwin there when this matter came into? Did you see it? He's saying so many billions or zillions of years ago. But was he there to watch it? Like just by seeing this one, can I imagine how this was made? You take this microphone to an African jungle, show it to some Africans who've never seen a microphone, and will he be able to figure out how this microphone is made? And not even the person in the African jungle, even an educated, intelligent person, can he figure out just by seeing it how it was made? No, we can't. Through our imagination we cannot make out how things happen. So that is the problem with the modern science. How many of you are studying science here? Or science-related subjects? So, do you think it's really presenting the facts? There is part of science is factual, there is no doubt about that. Like it's true that two atoms of hydrogen with one atom of oxygen make water. Yes. This is how we can analyze through different branches of science, we understand. But the problem is that when science says that life comes from matter, that is where the science is being a flop. Through science, you may understand something, but something cannot be understood unless it is properly studied. So there is another reality called spiritual reality. Like, okay, let's put it this way. As Prabhupada is saying, that some believe in the existence of the soul and some others don't believe in the existence of the soul. So that is where the trouble actually starts. When you don't believe in the existence of the soul, then we are actually rejecting one whole domain. We are rejecting. I mean, the thing is that the material we see that some things here are living and some things here are inanimate. Now the things that are living, the common understanding is they are living because of the soul. That understanding has been going on since time immemorial. Civilized people always believed in the existence of the soul. Doesn't matter from which religious denomination they're coming from. All religions believe in souls. Like even in African jungle, you will see, although they do not have any so-called religion, but they believe in the existence of the soul when it comes to it. But these so-called scientists, they came and they're saying, no, soul doesn't exist. Especially started with Darwin. And they developed a theory. Okay, again, we go back to another point here about science. In science, there is a thing called hypothesis and law. The hypothesis is actually the theory. Hypothesis. Theory. Theory means speculation. We think that it is, and now let us see whether it is real. So, and then they prove that through experiment, they establish the theory, then it becomes a law. Like for example, Sir Isaac Newton, he saw the apples are falling. So he questioned, why do the apples fall always? Why some apples do not fly out and go up? Why always apples are falling? Why? And then he kind of went in to find out, and he came up with an understanding, the law of gravity. There is a thing called gravitational pull, that every object has a center of gravity and it is pulling. And the earth has this center of gravity, and anything on the surface of the earth is pulling it. So now it's a law. The law of gravity. Law of motion. Newton's law of motion. And so on and so forth. But the thing is, nowadays we can see that most of the scientific concepts are actually based on theory. The theory of organic evolution. Big Bang theory. And they're passing that as science. They take it for granted. It is law, although they haven't proven it. Unless and until it is proven, it cannot be considered to be science. Now, did the scientists succeed in combining matter into life? No. And on the other hand, we are seeing the life is always coming from life. It's from a living parent that a living child is born. It's a living tree that a fruit comes. And in the fruit, there's a seed, and in the seed, there's a possibility of a tree. Right? So these are the factual things that they're experiencing every day, but they don't want to accept that. Living things come from living source. Doesn't the tree the fruits have seeds? Every fruit has seed, and the seed has a possibility of germinating into a tree. So, that is a proven fact. From a living source, another living thing comes. Can there be a child? Can a child ever be born from dead father and dead mother? Can this table, dead matter, can two tables coming together give birth to a third table? So that is the problem, like, they are complicating things. They are rejecting the simple facts, complicating and bewildering the whole world. And the result is, the world is becoming atheistic. Because of their teachings, people are believing there is no God. There is no soul. Now Prabhupada is making one point. Okay, fine, you don't believe in that. If you believe that there is no soul, then that means you were not there before, you became somebody, and then you become nobody again. So you are nobody to begin with, you became somebody in the middle, and then you'll become nobody again. So why lament? To begin with, you are nobody. So when there's somebody, when the body becomes nobody again at death, so why lament about it? On the other hand, if you are a living entity, then you have to consider that you have two aspects. The body made of matter and the soul, the living source, the source of life. And the body is antavanta ime deha. This body is perishable. The body is going to die. But nitya shakta sarira, the owner of the body. Sharira, shariri. Shariri means the owner of the body. So the owner of the body is immortal, eternal. So what's the relationship? The body is like a dress of the soul. So when you change your dress, no matter how expensive it is, no matter how beautiful it is, when it becomes worn out, then do you lament while changing the dress? Because now it's useless. At one time it was a new dress, it was very fancy, you look very neat, beautiful in that. But now that it has become old, get rid of it. Get another new dress. So when you have the simple understanding, then will anybody lament over the changing of the body? Therefore Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Dhiras tatra na muihati. Dhira, the one who is sober, who is composed, and sober with knowledge. Because knowledge makes us grave. Because we know. A person who is situated in knowledge, he also automatically becomes grave and sober. So he doesn't lament over that. Just like a child may cry when his toy is broken. But does a grown-up man cry when he sees a toy is broken? Why? Because the grown-up person is situated in knowledge, whereas the child is immature. Similarly, when a person is situated in proper knowledge, he doesn't lament over this natural phenomena of changing of body. Still it happens, that is only an emotional aspect. When somebody dies, we do feel bad. We do feel bad because now we won't be able to have him with us anymore. But a person who is situated in knowledge, he very quickly overcomes that feeling. So, and that knowledge is important, very important. And that knowledge is available in the Vedic scriptures, especially in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is simply giving us a reminder, giving us the awareness, giving us the knowledge about the real facts of life. Someday you will die. But who are you? Who are you? Will you die? And that's the information Bhagavatam is providing. You are not going to die. Who you are? You are immortal. Shinnantu vishye amritasya putra. In this world, the living entities of this world, listen. You are the children of immortality. Amritasya putra. So that is the knowledge. And that knowledge is available only in the human form of life because they have developed intelligence. Animals cannot question. Will everything end when I die? Did you ever find any dog asking? But a man does. Will everything end at death? He questions. Who am I? A man questions. Does God exist? A man questions. So these questions are product of advanced intelligence. That is why human form of life is very important. And we can begin, anybody can begin with that simple question, will everything end at death or I will continue to exist? So that can be the first consideration. Will everything end when I die? There are some bunch of people who think that everything will end at the time of death. They are called Charbak. Charbaks. They are gross material. Even during the Vedic time, they were gross materialists like that. That everything will end at the time of death. Therefore, enjoy when you are alive. So that is the atheistic people's mentality. Enjoy now, don't worry what's going to happen afterwards. Don't talk about sin and things. Who cares? There is nothing called sin. So beg, borrow, murder, do anything that you want. Enjoy. But one thing is, the standard of enjoyment during the Vedic time is still pretty advanced or pretty nice. What was their enjoyment? Gataṁ pivet. Drink ghee. Rinam kritva gataṁ pivet. Jabat jivet sukham jivet. As long as you are alive, live happily. Sukham jivet. And how to enjoy? Rinam kritva. By borrowing money, drink ghee. Rinam kritva gataṁ pivet. And because bhashmi bhutasya deha sa, when the body is burnt to ashes, then who is going to return? So, okay, fine. Fine. But what if something continues to exist after death? And all the bad things that you're doing now, you're going to get the result of that at that time. That awareness is actually very important. And that awareness comes by the association of the devotee. When you associate with the devotees, then only that awareness comes. And do you remember the story of Mrigari, the hunter. Narad Muni one day, he came across, he saw one deer shot with arrows, and the deer's legs are broken and is writhing in pain. Then after some time he saw another boar, a pig, and that is also injured in that way, shot by arrow, half dead and writhing in pain. Then he came across one rabbit, and so Narad Muni, then he came up, saw that there is a hunter. So Narad Muni went up to the hunter and asked him, why are you doing that? If you have to kill them, kill it fully. Why do you keep them half dead so that they are suffering in pain? So he said, the hunter said that, actually I enjoy when I see these animals are half dead and they're writhing in pain, suffering in pain. So then Narad Muni gave him the knowledge. That look, what you're doing, you have to suffer the consequence. The animals that you're hurting now in this way, they will come back and they'll hurt you the same way. And by the mercy of Narad Muni, they got the vision. Mrigari, the hunter, they got to see that these animals came back and torturing him. Then he came back to his senses. And he fell at Narad Muni's feet and said, please tell me, how can I be free from that? And then Narad Muni told him, break your arrow, break your bow, don't hunt anymore. Whatever possession you have, distribute among the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. And then with your wife, go to the bank of the river and create a hut. So he said, look, hunting is my occupation. If I stop hunting, I'll be starving. Narad Muni said, don't worry about it. I will take care of it. And so he went and built a hut, moved with his wife in that place. He had faith in Narad Muni's words. And of course, what did Narad Muni give him? Chant Hare Krishna. What will you do on the bank of the river with your wife? Just chant the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare.
So he had faith in the words of Narad Muni. He did that. And the people in the village got to know that Mrigari has become a sadhu. So they became curious. Let's go and see. Mrigari the hunter became a sadhu. And when they came, they brought some things with them. Rice, dal, fruits, milk. And Mrigari didn't have any scarcity. Actually, he had so much food that he started a Food for Life project. Started to distribute that food to others. So this is the association of a devotee that converts the individuals from a sinful life to a saintly life. That's why it is so important that those who have the knowledge must go out and give it to others. Maybe some won't listen, but many will, and they'll benefit. And this is how the devotees create good fortune for others. Just as the devotees came and spoke to us about Krishna, about the science of Krishna consciousness, we have accepted it and our life changed. In this way, the devotees only create the good fortune for other living entities and make them into devotees. Not that everybody will listen. Sometimes many will not listen. Don't worry about that. But those who will listen, just spend your time with them. So become very good devotees and distribute this knowledge. It's a simple knowledge, right? Does everything end? The simple question. Does everything end at death? How many of you think that everything will end at the time of death? No one. How many of you believe that he will continue to exist even after death? Very good. So then, who are you? Who will continue to exist? Will the body continue to exist? Then who will continue to exist? So if you say that you will continue to exist, then who will continue to exist? The soul. Then who are you? Soul. Very good. And now should we prepare how we continue to exist? Now after death, there's going to be judgment. Like Yamarāja here, Yamarāja is real. And mind you, Yamarāja is a pure devotee. Yamarāja is a Maharja. So Yamarāja will judge. Now, if you become a devotee and you are taken to Yamarāja's place, how will you feel? When you are taken to the place of a devotee, how do you feel? Do you feel afraid? No, you feel happy. Oh, another devotee. And by seeing you, Yamarāja will also finally I got a devotee. In this, all the time I have to deal with all these sinful individuals. And finally I got this association of a devotee. Come, sit down. And let's... And what will be the devotee's attitude towards Yamarāja? Please bless me. Please give me Krishna praise. Please advise me how to live my life. So that is the destination of the devotee. Even after death, the life will be wonderful. Even if you can't make it back to Godhead, even if you are taken to Yamarāja's abode, still then it will be so wonderful. Seeing Maharja. If you see Narad Muni, how you feel? What happens? Will you be trembling with fear? Huh? How will you feel? Yeah. God darshan of Narad Muni. If you see Rupa Goswami, how will you feel? Huh? If you see Prabhupada, how will you feel? If you see Yamarāja, how will you feel? So that's how wonderful this Krishna consciousness is. There is nothing to worry about. Now that you have accepted Krishna consciousness, everything will be wonderful. Only thing is, stay on this path, continue to practice this process, at least until death. Until death you don't deviate. Never give up Krishna consciousness and fall back into Maya. Just stay on in Krishna consciousness. And if until the time of death you can maintain your Krishna consciousness, then you can rest assured that everything will be wonderful after that. Because that is the time of examination, death. And if you continue to practice Krishna consciousness until that moment, that point, then yes, you will pass the exam with distinction. Thank you. Hare Krishna. All glories to Śrī Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande. Does anybody have any question? Yes?
But can a neophyte devotee go to Yamloka to clear his sinful reactions?
Can a neophyte devotee?
Are there any chances that a neophyte devotee visiting Yamloka?
Who knows whether it's a neophyte devotee or an advanced devotee? Where's the guarantee? So we do not really know. A devotee never thinks that he's advanced. Devotee never thinks that he's a devotee. Devotee simply relies on Krishna's mercy. I am totally unqualified. By good fortune, I came across this process of Krishna consciousness. So I'm just practicing it. In spite of all my frailties and defects, maybe someday Krishna will bestow his mercy. And we should be prepared. Yeah, we may have to go to Jamalaya. Maybe Jamdutas will come. Maybe at the time of death I won't remember Krishna. So many things can happen. Before I go to sleep, can I say that tonight I am going to drink this and that? So death is uncertain. At that time we won't have the will to control, will to direct us. Therefore the way is just to depend upon Krishna, depend upon the Vaishnava, depend upon Srila Prabhupada, and let's see what happens. And as I said, even if we are taken to Yamarāja, if we have that awareness that if we remember the process that we have been practicing for so many years, then maybe there we will remember who Yamarāja is. We may not remember Krishna, but if we, by seeing Yamarāja, if we remember him, who he is, okay, then it is made. Like if we fall at Yamarāja's feet and just offer our prayers, Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So do you think Yamarāja will be upset with us? Yamarāja will say, okay, all your sins are dismissed. So that is how we simply depend upon Krishna, and that we never deviate from the path. That's what the important thing. Yes?
Once in a lecture I told that more we are losing the worldly concept of our consciousness must have in the spiritual path.
Yes.
Maybe one day in the morning you'll find yourself in the spiritual path. So how does a pure devotee maintain his consciousness in three states?
In what?
How does a pure devotee maintain his consciousness in three states, like wakefulness state and this state, and unconscious sleep?
A pure devotee is always Krishna conscious. Even in his sleep, he is Krishna conscious. That's a pure devotee. But until and unless we reach that stage, then yes, when we become unconscious, we may not have the ability to control ourselves. The thing is that whatever it is, therefore we have to sincerely practice the process. That is what is going to bring the purity in us. Follow the process sincerely, with an understanding, mama janmani janmanishari. Let it take life after life. Doesn't care. You know the story of the cobbler? How many lives he had to come back? As many leaves were there in the tamarind tree. But what was his reaction? He started to dance and, oh, someday Krishna will remember. And then what happened? All the leaves from the tree fell off. And the chariot came from Vaikuntha to take him there. So that is how the faith works. Dominic, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. What to think about abortion? Does the fetus have a soul before 3 months? Thank you again. Thank you to explain. Yes. The fetus, even or rather you can say that when there's not just 3 months or 7 months, as soon as the sperm impregnates the ovum in the mother's womb, the soul enters there. The soul enters as soon as the mother conceives. Through the sperm, the soul enters into the ovum, the egg in the womb of the mother. And that's the time. And then the soul develops the body. There's a very nice description in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the first night, it takes the shape, size, it becomes the size of a pea, a green pea. And then it keeps on developing. And by 7 months, it develops. The hands and feet. And then, by 9 months, it becomes ready, complete. The production of the body is complete. Now it's going to come out of the factory. From the mother's womb, the body comes out as a living entity, living child. Yeah.
This is question from Shivanand Patra from Baroda. हिंदी में, जब 2 पर्सन को भक्ति करने का मौका मिलता है तो ऐसा क्यों होता है कि एक बड़ी आसानी से भक्ति को एक्सेप्ट करके उसमें प्रगति करने लगता है, जबकि दूसरा ऐसे ही रह जाता है और भक्ति में आगे नहीं बढ़ता है?
Yeah. So, everyone understood the question? Did everybody understand? Okay. The question is that when 2 persons join the movement at the same time, sometimes we see that someone is making advancement very quickly, whereas the other is remaining where he is. Why is that? That is because we have to understand that one who is making rapid advancement, he was already practicing spiritual life before, and he already made spiritual advancement. So he quickly reaches the level where he left, and then he will continue to advance from that point onwards. Whereas others may not be that advanced and they're just practicing. That's natural. We always find that some individuals are very advanced. As soon as they join the movement, they display such advanced nature. So we have to understand they have been practicing from previous life. So next question, Krishna Sharanam. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, does this incident mean when we get the association of pure devotee, we're actually benefiting that association if we have faith? How can we develop such faith? Yeah, how can we develop such faith? Just have faith. It is you who has to have the faith. Right? And good question actually. How can I develop faith? The faith will develop by being in association of other devotees who have faith. When we see that others have faith, then we'll be induced by their faith. Also by reading the books of Srila Prabhupada and other Vaishnavas. By reading their books also we develop a faith. And on your part, now that you are asking how can I develop faith? Now if you recognize the importance of developing faith, then try to develop faith. Right? one thought comes to my mind, I'll just share it. When you know that in order to eat food, you have to feel hungry, right? So the question is, how can I develop hunger? And what will be the answer? Go to the field and run for half an hour. You'll see automatically. So similarly, practice the process properly, the faith will come. It will develop. So have faith in the process, then you'll develop the faith. Another question from Krishna Sharanam. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, does this incident mean when you get the association of a pure devotee, we are actually benefiting by the association if we have faith? How come the same question twice? Oh, so that was incomplete. The second part is, I wonder even Mrigari could develop such faith. Please enlighten, how can we have such faith? Your servant, Amritesh Gauradas, Bhuvaneshwar. Yes, as you say, like Mrigari had the faith. How did he develop the faith? Because Narad Muni gave him the knowledge. And he realized that yes, that's true. If I continue to act sinfully, then I have to suffer the consequence. Therefore, let me listen to what Narad Muni is saying. Right? Murari Charandas, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandavad Pranam. My question is, during job time, 9-10 hours, how one can remain in Krishna consciousness, as I totally forgot Krishna and his devotees. Yeah. When you are absorbed in your work, then you may not remember Krishna, but when you get the salary, at least then you can remember. And then you know what to do. Then all that time that you spent working and forgetting Krishna will have its positive result. Hare Krishna. Okay.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Like life comes from life, not from a dead body. But we have few examples in Bhagavatam, like Vena's body. Vena was dead, but Prithu Maharaj asked Vishal. Another example like Vishwarupa, he was chopped.
Okay, was Bena a living person? Was Bena alive? So, they came from the source of living source. Right. Came from the living source. Alright. Okay, go ahead.
He was just, dead. He was died. And after that, this thing.
Sometimes there are plenty of instances when dead body can be revived. So it is from Bena's body, part of Bena's body came the living source, a soul was invited to develop. Right? The point is what made the life. The life came from the soul. The life didn't come from the dead lump of Bena's leg. The life came from the soul. They invited the soul to come. You get the point?
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for explaining scientifically the existence of the soul. As you explained about science, sometimes we found that very, very famous scientists like Einstein, Kelvin, Newton, they believed in the existence of some higher power when they reached to a certain level of scientific advancement. But nowadays we see that they give totally atheistic theories and totally atheistic ideas nowadays, scientists. So how do they not follow them?
Yeah, because they are becoming more and more degraded. Right? Anyway, so they may be degraded, but by Prabhupada's mercy, some others like us are benefiting. Right? And we are seeing the defect. So the thing is that it's a matter of following the proper process. So, like let us look at it this way. So there is a disease. If one gets the wrong treatment, then what will happen? The disease will get worse. But if he gets the right treatment, then he'll get cured. So, because they're following the wrong treatment, their disease is becoming more and more acute. Whereas others who are taking the right medicine, they're getting cured. Right? So, that will be the clear understanding. They're following the wrong process. So they're becoming more and more and more degraded. But still they have hope. Still they have the hope. If someday they start to take the right medicine, then yes, they'll get cured, no matter how serious their disease was. And the disease is called bhava-rog, the disease of materialistic consciousness. So that's the disease. And those who are getting the right medicine, they're becoming free from that materialistic consciousness. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Yes, there is a question at the back, Mataji.
जैसे अभी आपके शरण में हम आ गए, पिछले जन्म में हमने कितने पाप करे कुछ मालूम नहीं, लेकिन इस जन्म में आपकी शरण में आके क्या भक्ति करके हम भगवत धाम को जा सकेंगे?
नहीं तो क्यों आए?
आपकी शरण ऐसी ले लिए कि अब कहीं जाने को दिल नहीं करता है।
बल्कि जिम्मेदारी केवल मेरा ही नहीं, आपका भी।
हमें ये मालूम पड़ा कि हम भक्ति कैसे करना हमको, और फिर कितने किस जन्म में हम चले जाएंगे भगवत धाम।
उस बारे में हम नहीं सोचते, हम सब भगवान के ऊपर छोड़ देते हैं। हमारा प्रार्थना भगवान के पास ये ऐसी है कि चाहे कितना भी जन्म लग जाए कोई हर्जा नहीं, लेकिन ये भक्ति मार्ग में जन्म जन्म के अंत में मैं आ सकता हूँ। भक्ति मार्ग में आकर कैसा लगता है? बहुत अच्छा लगता है। तो फिर ऐसी सुयोग मिलता है तो कैसा लगेगा? बहुत अच्छा लगेगा। अगर बहुत अच्छा लगता है तो छोड़ने का क्या जरूरत है?
ऐसा लगता है मेरे पास समय बहुत कम है।
ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, जितना समय हो तो इस्तेमाल करते रहो सही रूप से। और बाकी जो है देखो, भक्ति मार्ग में आकर हम ये नहीं सोचता है कि हम कब मुक्ति, तुम जो सोच रही हो, मुक्ति भक्तों को ऐसे ही मिल जाता है। जैसे सोचो जैसे मुक्ति का मतलब क्या होता है? कठिनाई से छुटकारा। तुम अगर खुश में हो तो क्या उस स्थिति से और भाग जाने का कोशिश करते हो? अच्छा, तो जैसे मैं पूछा कि भक्ति मार्ग में आकर कैसा लगता है, तुम बोला बहुत अच्छा। तो ये अगर बहुत अच्छा लगता है तो इससे छूटने का, इसको छोड़कर जाने का क्या जरूरत है? लेकिन सवाल ये है कि अगला जन्म में भी ये मिलेगा क्या नहीं? ये जो मौका मिला है इस जन्म में, वो अगला जन्म में मिलेगा क्या नहीं? ये हमारा प्रार्थना, ताकि अगला जन्म में भी मिल जाए ऐसा सुअवसर। ठीक है, चाहे हम भगवान धाम में जाए या नहीं। नौकर कभी बोलता है, हाँ साहब मैं कब आपका कमरा में एक साथ रहूंगा। नौकर कभी ऐसा ये करता है, डिमांड करता है? नौकर क्या बोलता है? आपका सेवा करने का मौका दीजिए। मैं आपका दास हूँ, आपको सेवा करना ही मेरा काम है, तो जब मैं आपका सेवा करता रहा तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है। और जैसे आप मेरा देखभाल कर रहे हैं, बस हमको मेरा और कोई कंप्लेंट नहीं है। ठीक है, तो मतलब है बहुत अच्छा से ब्रह्मांड दासी बन जाओ। प्रदीप नामदेव, धन्यवाद, प्रणाम गुरु महाराज। मैं सुबह उठकर बिना नहाए 2 घंटे जप करता हूँ, क्या ये ठीक है? बिना नहाए जप करना, बिना नहाए जप करना। अगर आलसी के कारण नहाते नहीं हो कौन तो वैसे लेकिन देखो, ये नाम भगवान को नाम करने के लिए कोई विशेष अवस्था का या व्यवस्था का जरूरत नहीं होता है। जैसे भगवान शिक्षाष्टकम में चैतन्य महाप्रभु कह रहे हैं, नाम नाम आकारी बहुधा निज सर्वशक्ति तत्रार्पित नियमित स्मरणेन काला। ये नाम जपने के लिए कोई स्थान, काल या पात्र का ये नहीं होता है। किसी भी स्थिति में हम भगवान का नाम जप करते हैं। जैसे इस सिलसिले में एक दृष्टांत है, वो अच्छा, I started to speak in Hindi. So I think the question. So there is a beautiful example by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one day he came out of the toilet and he was biting onto his tongue. Like, yes. So everyone wondered why biting it. Mahaprabhu said, I was in a dirty place and my tongue was chanting the holy name. So I thought that in a dirty place I should not chant. So that's why I'm controlling my tongue not to chant. So there was a little boy, 6-year-old boy. His name was Gopal. So Gopal asked, if the time comes to leave the body at a dirty place, should we chant the holy name? So Mahaprabhu accepted that. He said, I learned something from Gopal today. What is the lesson? We can chant the holy name any place, at any time, under any condition. मृत्यु के समय अगर नहाने का अवसर नहीं मिला तो भगवान का नाम लेते रहोगे? If at the time of death we can't take a bath, should we chant the holy name? The answer you already got. Okay, Bhuvan Mohini Devi Dasi. It's yours? Okay, yeah, right. How are you? You came alone?
No.
Oh, you're hiding behind here. I saw her and I was wondering where you were. Thank you. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, कोटि कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम। गुरु महाराज, मेरे अंदर इतना क्रोध क्यों है? कृष्ण भावनामृत में आकर भी मैं अपने क्रोध को कंट्रोल क्यों नहीं कर पाती? जबकि मैंने देखा है कि जो लोग भक्ति में नहीं हैं उनमें भी मेरे जैसा क्रोध नहीं है। मुझ पर कृपा करें। हरे कृष्ण। I don't think you have anger when I see you always smiling. Anyway, nice day. वो होता है जो नजदीक होते हैं उसको उसके ऊपर हम कभी कंट्रोल डाल देते हैं. So, okay, my answer will be, okay, when you get angry, say it with a smile. It happens, you know, like, what to do, like, these are, you know, when things don't happen according to, because we are dealing, you know, we are dealing with the situations, the consideration of the situation, whether the situation is going to be appropriate or not, and especially when things don't happen according to your plan or your desire, your idea, naturally you become angry. You are telling me anger. You haven't seen me. Those who are close to me, they know. They have seen my fiery nature at times. It's not that krodh or anger will not be there, but the Shastra is saying, krodh bhakta veshijani. Apply your anger to those who are averse to devotion, those who are not devotee, like Hanuman. Hanuman was so angry on Ravana.
Three questions from Vibhu Chaitanya. How can the gross physical act of not cremating suyagya stop Yamdutas who operate in the subtle realm? How can the gross physical act of not cremating suyagya stop Yamdutas who operate?
It was not physical, it was their emotional. And we have to understand that these are the pastimes so that we can learn something. How can it happen is that, let's not get into it. It happened. And it's happened because of our benefit so that we can learn something.
Second question. If there any special significance to addressing the relatives as amīṣāṁ in the verse?
What happened?
Is there any special significance to
amīṣāṁ means of this. Ami is not, and that is amīṣā, long A. And this is short.
It's a off-topic question, but I needed the answer from very few months now. The Bhishma Panchak, 5 days of Bhishma Panchak, did they happen before the war or after the war?
Bhishma Panchak after the war.
So if they happen after the war, then why do we celebrate Gita Jayanti after Bhishma Panchak?
Gita Jayanti after Bhishma Panchak. That means I have to just take. I don't think Bhishma Dev was lying on the bed of arrows for so long. It was only a matter of 3 months, right, or 2 months. Bhishma Panchak is in October and Gita Jayanti is in December. But Bhishma is according to some lunar calculation, position of the stars. Anyway, my answer is I don't know.
Next question from Radharani Mataji. Guru Maharaj, can you please comment on cloning? Cloning.
Cloning. Cloning actually makes the body take shape in a certain way due to the injection of some gene in certain way. Right? Like they take the gene of certain entity, certain living entity, and then they put it in the developing body of some living entity, and as a result of that, that body gets the shape or texture of the gene, according to the gene that was injected. That is called cloning. Cloning means looking the same. Make the bodies look the same. Clone. Similar. So that is cloning. But the thing is another bluff of the scientists. They say by cloning, they say now they've created life. This all kind of cheating is going on. Like they took, first of all, that body is a living body in the womb of the mother of that animal. And they take the gene from another living entity, and as a result of that, the body of that new developing body takes a similar kind of texture or shape. And they call it clone. That is clone. There is no creation of life. That's just a bluff. But there are people who are so stupid that they begin to believe that. I mean, I saw some educated people, they say, oh, created life. I said, how did they create life? Did they take it from one dead matter source, another dead source, and they got made it into life? No. Yes.
तो ये सब सोचने की तरीका।
हाँ, ये प्योर डिवोटी भी ऐसे ये कभी कभी ये करते हैं, विचार रखते हैं। लेकिन जैसे प्रभुपाद जी भी जब अमेरिका में थे, प्रभुपाद अपने एक गुरु भाई को लिखे थे, अगर मेरा मृत्यु अमेरिका में होगा तो क्या होगा। तो उनके गुरु भाई प्रभुपाद को लिखा था कि आप जहाँ भी हो वो जगह ही वृंदावन है। तो जहाँ आप आपको शरीर छोड़ेंगे वो जगह वृंदावन बन जाएगा आपके रास्ते। सो ऐसे हम देखते हैं, प्रभुपाद जी भी सोचते थे कि चाहते थे कि मेरा देहांत वृंदावन। तो ऐसे ये ऐसा नहीं कि शुद्ध भक्त सोचते हैं कि मैं शुद्ध भक्त हूँ तो मैं जो करूँगा भगवान उसको संभालना पड़ेगा भगवान। तो इस सिलसिले में प्रभुपाद एक बार बोला था, क्या तुम सोचते हो भगवान तुम्हारा नौकर है? तुम भगवान को बोलेगा ये करो वो करो और भगवान को करना होगा। असल में हम सब नौकर हैं। एक बार सनातन गोस्वामी आए थे रूप गोस्वामी के पास वृंदावन में। तो रूप गोस्वामी सोच रहा था कि अगर मेरा सनातन गोस्वामी आए हैं, अगर मैं उनको स्वीट राइस खिला सकता था, ये मन में उसका भावना रखा। तो एक बच्ची आई, दूध वगैरह, दूध चावल सब लेकर, शक्कर लेकर। तो रूप गोस्वामी बहुत खुश होकर स्वीट राइस बनाया। तो रूप गोस्वामी, सनातन गोस्वामी जब उसको आस्वादन करने लगा तो उसको लगा कि ये तो इस जगत का नहीं है, कहाँ मिला है इसे। तो पूछा कि ये स्वीट राइस तुमको कैसे, कहाँ से मिला है। तो रूप गोस्वामी को बताया। तो रूप गोस्वामी सनातन गोस्वामी ने बोला कि पता है वो कौन थी? राधा रानी थी। और तुम राधा रानी से सेवा लिया है इसे। तो बहुत डांटा उनको कि तुम राधा रानी से सेवा लिया है इसे। राधा रानी को सेवा करना चाहिए, उनसे सेवा नहीं करनी चाहिए। तो ये है भक्ति की भावना। Quite a questions today. Kamalnath Das with another one. Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Dhanyavad Pranam. Youth nowadays like hear and watch videos. Was that me should inspire them to read Prabhupada's books. People often say, I can't purchase books, I like to watch videos, and they don't take Prabhupada's books. There are many lectures in videos. Tell them that if they can't buy books, they can watch the lectures of different devotees in video. Okay? Asal mein, they should want to. That's it. মানস কুমার মুখার্জি যদিও রামকৃষ্ণ মঠ মিশনে দীক্ষিত তবু আপনার গান লেকচার শুনে আমি আনন্দ পাই আমি নবী বোম্বাইয়ে ইসকন মন্দিরে যাই ওকে থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ মানস কুমার মুখার্জি সো মন্দিরে যেও আর আমার গান শুনতে যদি ভালো লাগে তবে শুনো Thank you. Hare Krishna, glories to Śrīla Prabhupada.